Hello, hi. Welcome back to yet another episode of our ongoing theme, Breaking Barriers. And today we are going to talk about, or rather, have a deep dive conversation about key pertinent issues that is really affecting the LGBTQI persons, especially here in Kenya. And that is the socio-economic violence that are perpetrated, whether directly or indirectly, to this marginalized community. So, to bring this topic home, I want you to imagine that you are working in a governmental parastatal or even the INGO, and then all of a sudden, poof, you lose your job. What are the implications of that? And now think about it that you are a minority within that space. It is a double tragedy. And to help me have a deep dive conversations on this, I am joined by my two beautiful people. I'll start on my left here. Yes.
Hi, viewers. I don't know how they call you in this podcast, but yeah, my
Yeah.
name is Lydia Adiambo. I am a queer human rights defender, and I'm here today to, to just share our experiences, or rather, my experience on the topic of the day. Yeah, on how the economy is tough for us as queer people for simply being who we are. Yep, I think that's it.
And on to my right.
Hello, I am Mustafa Azza, a queer HIV activist from the coastal region of Kenya. I look forward to also kuchambua hii topic.
Himada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us for this session.
Yeah.
And it is me, yours, it's just 11.
Yes.
So maybe I start from my right here.
Of course, yeah.
So with regards to the socio-economic lived realities of the LGBTQI persons in Kenya, and being a human rights activist, and also your interaction with the broader community, what are the challenges and how do they manifest?
Mm, I think what the challenges are so many that if we start to talk about here, like right now, or mention
Mhm,
all of them, we will not finish.
mhm,
But as queer human rights defender, first of all,
mhm,
just being in the other spaces,
mhm,
and by other spaces I mean the general spaces, because
mhm,
I am a human rights defender. I'd
mhm,
want to like be in spaces with other people who are not queer, the other human rights organizations
mhm,
within Mombasa.
mm,
But it's been really tough. There is just a way you sit in those spaces and you feel like this is not my space. Like
mm,
this is where I want to be.
mhm,
But again,
mhm,
it doesn't feel like this is my space because I'm out as a queer. I
mhm,
am like I am me in
mhm,
Yeah.
any space, and I just love being that because
mhm,
I'm like I don't want to come into a space and then pretend to be somebody else,
mhm,
and before you know it,
mhm,
mulinikubali because I was not myself, and now I start being myself, and then it's
mhm,
something else.
mhm.
So I think it manifests that unakaa kwa hizo spaces and you feel like eh,
I'm just being tolerated
yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah, like yeah, tunakutaka hapa hivi
Mhm.
because people know you as a human rights defender, na kuna kanini unaenda kuongeza hapa kidogo.
Kanini tu yenye uko nayo
Like yeah,
hapo.
wacha tu waone we have queer woman in this space. You get
Mhm,
like I've
mhm,
been invited in spaces and I
mhm,
felt like oh it was just for their own visibility,
mhm,
and
mhm,
a lot
mhm,
of human rights organization in Mombasa are currently
mhm,
pretending that they're
mhm.
inclusive of
Then
the queer people, but in those spaces it's
mm,
just like
mm,
so unakuwa tolerated in spaces and it feels like inakuburden as a person, because I don't only want to be in our
mhm.
spaces as
Yeah,
community.
true, true.
Tunataka tutoke nje
Mhm.
where I'm not only defending the rights of the queer people but the
Mhm,
human right. I am a human rights defender,
mhm.
not only that, but we are
So
tunawekwa kwa kakun that you only have to be
you have to conform to this, and
to
if you do not conform to this, then there are repercussions.
yes,
Okay,
there is.
thank you so much. And what about you, Mustafa?
I agree with Minklo,
Mm-hmm,
and what I can say is the laws in this country enhance that.
mm-hmm,
The laws don't only exist in books, they
mm-hmm,
follow us in houses,
mm-hmm,
families, jobs,
mm,
because Section 162 and 165, I think people use that.
mm-hmm,
Ukienda kuseek job, hawatakwambia that sikupati job just
mm-hmm,
because you're gay. They're
mm-hmm,
going to tell you that these values hazialign na sisi.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
They're all using the same laws that are in our
mm-hmm,
constitutions.
mm,
In families, msee anakuwa tu poa na wewe, and
Mm.
once come out anaanza kukutreat differently. So yeah, we have a lot of challenges out here as queer people, and these laws that haziongelelewi zimekuwa zikikuwa pushed, they really do affect us.
Yeah, yeah. And just on that point, you mentioned something to deal with the employment.
Yes.
So from your own observation, what are the absorption rate of the LGBTQI persons into these mainstream employment opportunities? Is it high or is it low?
It's low, and I can't really say kwa kila cluster. I can start with the transgender is so low. So long as umeshaji represent, unakaa masculine but unakaa feminine, and your identity card is masculine, you already don't get the job. And if you are a gay man, utapata job but you'll have to conform ndo uweze kuwa accommodated within that space. And I'm not being authentic. If mnanitaka kwa kampani yenu, let me just be me. Let me just show you who I am. Yeah.
So if you come if you come to be too transgender, or you are living in your authenticity,
It's a bad image for the company.
it's a bad image.
Yeah.
So it comes in with the morality versus legal discourse.
Yeah.
And maybe to you, I mean, Claire, what from that point on, maybe do you have something maybe from an experience that you've had? Would you mind sharing? We are holding space for us all.
Yeah, I have a few experiences, but I'll share the most recent one.
Yep.
This January 2026,
Mm.
I've been not really volunteering in this space, but they've been calling me to spaces. It's a human rights organization,
Yeah.
and they wanted to open a branch in Mombasa.
Mm.
So one of their colleagues is like, yo, Lydia, where are you? Unajua tunatafuta so and so and mtu hivi na hivi na hivi. My CV, like I am by merit qualified to be in that position. And it's not something that is demanding, because I was telling this guy who is my friend who works with them, yeah, aina shida. If it's something that I don't really have to do like 8 to 4, because I'm not an 8 to 4 person, mi nitakuja. So akaniambia, unafaa kuja interview and all that. Mimi ni nani, nikapiga luku yangu safi. Nikaenda where we were supposed to do the interview. I get interviewed. The director of the organization was there, and some other few board members with this guy who is my friend was also there. Nikatuma kila kitu that they wanted. Later on, they told us it was on a Monday, and we were told that we'll get the feedback the next week on Thursday. I was called, and this guy was very blunt with me, because mimi CV yangu ukifungua hivi, first of all, it says a queer human rights defender. So like I am a queer, it's open, it's everywhere. But the board said that yes, you can do the work, but unajua sisi kama Muslims and organization yetu na nini itakuwa ngumu. So I was just like, but times mnanitaka to volunteer and do things, then my sexuality ama identity yangu man, I told him it's okay and deleted all their numbers. That is how I'm rolling in 2026. But it's really it's hard. It's like, it's painful that you're qualified for something and people are not giving you the chance just because of your identity, not because you can't do the work. They know you, not that they do not know, they know you can do it, they have seen you do it, but now that a salary is attached to it and a title inakuwa, your sexuality is
really,
yeah.
And maybe now with that, have you ever had maybe an because you mentioned about being involved in these other spaces, maybe in economical spaces where the labor unions with the labor unions, where also they uphold the ILO, the International Labor Organizational principles, where it states that you should not be discriminated based on your gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and their whatnots. Maybe have you ever tried to engage with the people to really uphold the written laws? In reality?
In reality is, kwa ground vitu ni different. We all know these laws are there. But if this is somebody's company, even if you do that, you will not feel safe in that space. Even if they hire you that, like, yeah, you're qualified. I am qualified and I can challenge that. There are laws that says this and this and this. And as a human rights organization, you're not supposed to discriminate. I know all those things, but I do not want to go to that extent of putting myself in a space that I know I'm not really welcomed. I won't feel safe. There's just a way I'll always feel uncomfortable. I mean, you better prioritize your mental health than forcing yourself into spaces. And the only thing I can do when that happens is if I was already employed, worked, and I have not been paid. Now I want them to be like, we mnilipe pesa zangu. But hawajani employ bado. I think as queer people, where we are at right now, to learn so much on creating our own spaces, creating our businesses, starting up our own organizations. So if an organization that is not a queer-led organization feels like you do not, fit, or you're not supposed to be, there's just like, as we continue to advocate, of course, and let them. There are few. I mean, it's not all non-queer organizations that are discriminating on queer people. We know other organizations that are led with quote unquote, straight people, religious people, people of, who uphold tradition and culture, but are very welcoming. I mean, we've engaged religious leaders. We have them in the spaces. But if there are those ones that do not welcome us, I don't think we should force ourselves into those spaces. It's just like, kudos, cool. You feel that? And then keep boundaries. If you need my help somewhere, if you need my support, and I already know that, kuna mali ulinikanyagia because of my sexuality, I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that because of 1, 2, 3. It's just it.
So you talked about the LGBTQI persons creating their own space to uplift their economic situations, because we understand that being a minority in an environment that really looks down on you, socially you are excluded, you are othered, religiously you are demonized,
Yeah.
and economically also you are suppressed,
So much.
if not a career suicide. I don't know if we saw the BBC podcast led by Mobin Azar. It's called Lives Less Ordinary.
Was it a documentary?
No, it was just a podcast where Chimano was speaking about
yeah.
themselves.
I've came across
And there
that.
is something which Chimano said, and I really felt home when they came out to the bandmates. And alikuwa anaambiwa, we know you and we
But-
accept you, but we understand the environment that we are in. And what Chimano said after that really broke me: career suicide. So even us as LGBTQI person, queer are people, we are creating our own space. And yet the public opinion and that has been shaped, really influences what we can do within our own spaces here.
It does.
And even I recall an incident happened in Nairobi, where there was supposed to be a gathering, like it was more like an economical nini, an economical way to maybe crowdfund about the social justice for the LGBTQI, and the police were called. And one is on record saying that hawa watu siwataki kwa hii area. Yeah. So now maybe and now back to you, Mustafa. From that experience of Chimano, like let's say this public persona that we have to create. You mentioned earlier that when you are employed in this corporate or even within some social justice movements, yes, there is a way that they need you to conform. So how do the LGBTQI person manage to bring food to the table? Because even us in the LGBTQI, tuko na classisms, eh? Kuna wale wenye wako Kilimani.
Talk about it. And the assumption that all queer people are rich. And
Yeah.
it's like, no.
Yeah, so maybe you give us your thoughts on that.
I had something to add on
Yeah.
Uniqlo. Tukijiingiza by force, or if we use the law that tunajua laws, and they manage to keep us in their companies, they're going to frustrate us mpaka tutoke hapo. Na hatutatoka hapo now with economic violence, tutatoka hapo with health, mental health, tutatoka hapo na shida mingi. Hiyo kutoka nje na kujitafutia pia, they're not going to support you. I have a friend who opened an organization, and it was a queer organization. Ameenda bank kutafuta nini statement ama kuandikiwa just to get legal documents, he had to go 8 times ndo apate hiyo nini. Mara ya kwanza alienda, it's intersex and trans, hawataki kusikia hiyo maneno. The second time alienda, intersex and trans, nyinyi watu mko na pesa, you have to toa chai kidogo so that we make these things faster iende. So this person aliendelea kuenda mpaka someone just saw and then was like, hapana, you all mumeruhusiwa kuwa na freedom of association and tunafaa tuwapatie hii kitu. That person helped them akapata hiyo stuff. But is it charity ama ni kitu yenye tunafaa tupate? Mtutake kwa your own companies. We are trying to create our own spaces. Pia there are barriers in creating those things. So tunakuwa forced kusaka illegal ama not legal ways of earning money. Majority of us, I'm going to speak as a gay man, we move into sex work. And in sex work pia it's not smooth. Police are on our necks. Ukishajulikana kwa wewe ni sex worker, a police is going to target you. Anajua unaishi hapa. So yeah, ile siku yenye ako broke ni wewe ndo anakuja kwako, anakuja kukufanyia vitu. It's hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And I just on that story now that you mentioned, so it's like however much we have been given the freedom of association, but that is only on paper.
Yeah.
Have we been given? though?
Have we been given though? When I think it was Oginga Odinga who said it's not yet Uhuru. Yeah.
Hakuna independence.
Hakuna independence, pardon.
Not there, no.
Yeah. So with that, like, I fail to understand what can we do? Maybe what can we do as an LGBTQI persons when we are creating our own space, and then this space is bado kuna these bottlenecks. Some are religiously, some are socially, and even the legal.
Yeah.
Because I recall on that even to add on that, you cannot write something to deal with gay and lesbian until the Eric Gitari versus the NGO board, where now it was ruled on 2023, and here
I registered an NGO last year, man. Let nobody lie to you. Even at the registrar's office wanakuambia usiandike hizo vitu juu ukiandika this thing might take forever to come back. Yeah, because we had applied for some funding and the funding was coming and the donor was like, unajua, we are fiscal hosted, you know, with the people, yeah. So they're like, no, we want your own account. So what does that mean? We need to do registration for us to open a bank account. And we were told point blank, ukijaribu kutaja LGBTQ hapo, sahau hiyo kitu. Sahau. It's just like, so as much as you're saying, oh, these laws are there, oh, sijui freedom of association, sijui what, nothing. In these offices, the story is different. It is totally different. So you have to, like, you know, I'm doing women empowerment, or I'm doing sijui like, just hide behind something. You get? Don't, like, say who you are. Don't say the people that you're advocating for. In this other ukiandika constitutions, you need to take the constitution, you need to take there are some words that you feminism, advocacy, and you're like, which country are we living in? I'm advocate. Why do you feel threatened by a simple advocacy?
A word.
So somebody is going to advocate. That is a problem to you. So no, these things are just on paper for, I think, maybe international whatever is to just say that here there is some
It is just
progress,
to
but
glamorize.
no. Kwa ground,
Things
your
are
progress
different.
haiko completely.
And also that you know, when the LGBTQI organizing, we have been so much accused that we are the ones who are actually are getting the donor funding. But is it a mitigation that we have put in place to uplift our people, given that they do not want to employ us out there? So let us use the civil society route, have our own organization, and employ our people in that hawawezi hata kupata hata kama hiyo kamia cha usiku.
Yeah.
And yet hapo pia na hatuna niniwa hapo. And
But sasa, if you nini, I think I am tired of trying to justify that queer people tuko na pesa guys, tuko nazo, sisi ulipwa monthly. You get, because it's just like that is what you think. Then kudos. Somebody allow me to use you as an example.
Yeah, sure.
I can comfortably go by a public means. Nitatoka hapa chini nipande mat niende Kiembeni. But what about Ostres? It means that whether they have money or they do not have money, they need to strain to a certain extent, even go hungry for them to get an Uber or some private, means to get home safely. So it's just like, no, it's not because people are rich, it's because of the hostility out here. It's because you people are not making us, we do not have the freedom. I've worked with Ostres out here and unafika stage and my numbers and matatu, and you're just like, what the fuck? What has she done? So no, it's not because we have your money to like to just dash out here. It's because the situations that you people have put us through, the hate that is out here forces us to, go to certain restaurants,
and even
go to, board certain, private means, because for my safety, then what? I want to get home safely. We need to like rent in certain, neighborhoods, in estates and all
rich
that.
neighborhoods.
Because if I'm in Kisauni, I cannot get out comfortably. There is just a way people, uyo. So I need to get my own space where I feel like I'm safe, even if or even when I am straining to pay for those things.
So it is a coping mechanism that we have structured to actually to be mentally sane. And to the outside world, they're like, hawa watu wako na pesa
lifestyle.
na sana sana ni pesa za wazungu, sijui na pesa wazungu
mwende
inatokanga
wazungu wapatie pesa. Imagine wanapeana and then ninyi pia mpewe.
Yeah. So Mustafa, you mentioned something to do with the family rejection and the housing insecurity. Maybe elaborate more, indulge us more on that.
I'll give a personal experience.
Yeah.
As you said, the civil societies ndo zinatu upkeep na si eti zinatu fund, zinatupatia pesa mingi. Hiyo kidogo yenye tunapewa ni ujiangalie venye wewe utanini. So it reached a point where the funding zilikuwa cut. So I can't afford to pay for the house, I can't afford to do anything, I have to go back home. Naishi Mombasa. Kwetu ni Mombasa. So the only way I can actually be financially at ease is if I go back home. My family has accepted me, but si wote. Kuna wenye kidogo bado wako hapo hivyo, hawajaamini that you can be queer and be African. Nimezaliwa hapo, they've seen me grow, sielewi ni nini hawajaona. You going back home and you don't have money, that's a different thing now. When you have money, at least watakutolerate. Watasema uko na pesa unaleta kitu. Now you don't have money, uko kwa nyumba and you're queer. Ni mateso tu hapo. I recently got hit by my uncle simply because of telling him whatever you said is not right. Ungeongea tu vizuri ama there's a better way you could have told someone ni hivi na hivi na hivi. So as a queer person, I don't even have a say in my own family kama sina pesa. You need to have that money ndo ukue na say ama you need to
buy the
yeah and sisi fiti
Sorry.
na tukiamua sasa tunajitengenezea our own chosen families, it also becomes a problem.
Own chosen family, it just irritates them.
So sielewi just make things easier for us. We are human beings. We are your siblings, we are your brothers, we are your neighbors. I mean, shida zenye mnapitia ndo shida zenye pia sisi tunapitia. We are all Kenyans, we all go through the same things. Ni nini mnatufanyia sisi?
And we pay the damn taxes.
That part.
Taxes tunalipa. Sisi na kasongo tuko na yeye.
Ukikatwa end month, sijui sisi pia tunakatwa. It's not like we live in a different world.
It's not. The same struggles that you are facing is the same struggles that we are facing.
And the stigma that you people are putting on us, mnatuongezea sasa hizo struggles zenye tuko nazo as a community, plus the ones that mnatuongezea mnatukandamiza man, and it's not good.
And somebody said something profound the other day is you see the anti-LGBTQ, the way wanasemanga waueni wafukuze, you know what that tells the people is today is us. Today is the queer people. Tomorrow they will come with a different thing. And you will never know ni category gani utafall. Because the more you tell a perpetrator, wewe ukipatana na Ostres kwa barabara mpige. Tell me ni nini itafanya perpetrator kesho akikutana na Lydia simpige. See, it's a normal thing we beat people and get away with it because for some reasons it's justified. A queer person is supposed to be beaten. Tell me why a woman is not supposed to be beaten. Tell me why a child is not supposed to be raped. Tell me why. Like, it's just like, yeah, we are normalizing violence for a certain group of people. Ikitoka hapa, inakuja kwenyu next door. So,
I was thinking about that. Now, if all queer people hawako, they'll automatically find another group.
of course.
Another
So,
scapegoat.
yeah. And
Scapegoat hapo. Watoto wamenifanyiwa nini?
Yeah, like if as LGBTQI organization, there are things that we do not tolerate even within our movement. Pedophilia, we do not
We've said
tolerate.
that over and over.
Raping,
and
we do
over.
not tolerate. In fact, we will be the first persons to actually go and close that business that is perpetrating that. We will be the first one.
But do you think they do not know that? They do know.
Honey.
They don't just want to call out the real things. They don't want to call their, the pastors, the shehs, the all that are defiling children in mosques and churches. They do not want to say that because they are the perpetrators.
Yeah.
Now they need to find other people to put the blame on. And who is the other people?
To
the
be honest,
LGBTQ person.
to be honest, I've never seen a perpetrator who is someone mwenye come out as a publicly gay person. The perpetrators are people wenye wako huku chini, wenye wamejificha. Utasikia tu ni ustadh. This ustadh amekuwa akikuwa na watoto hii time yote. Kama amefanyia huyu mmoja, how sure you are wengine wote bado hawajafanyiwa. But here story ina change. When it's the ustadh, the people who are out publicly gay out ndo wanakuja kukuwa attacked. Nyinyi ndo mnaeneza hizi vitu, nyinyi ndo mnafanya hivi. In which that's not true. I am publicly out. And me being out, najua kuna vitu zingine siwezi fanya. Juu nitaangaliwa, nitaambiwa unafanya hivi, unafanya hivi. So I have to follow the law. The people wenye wamejificha, hao ndo mnafaa mkuwe worried about.
And they are not gay. Let's say
They are
that
not.
sexual practice and sexual orientation
Orientation.
are two different things.
Totally.
Apart.
And that one should be
Simply
in bold.
because somebody has defiled a child. Mwanaume, mtoto mdogo wa mvulana. It does not mean that they are gay. It's just they are stupid. I don't know what. But sexual orientation and sexual practice are two different things. There are people who are having sex with men for money, for gains, for different reasons. There are women having sex with women for their own personal need. Being queer is you are holistically attracted. Venye mamako na babako waliowana juu walipendana wakakaa kwa nyumba, and they do so many other things apart from sex. That is what sexuality is.
Yeah.
So tuache if you look at Lydia, the first thing that comes into your mind unamwona, hey, huyu akiona wasichana. It is sex that comes into your mind. No. I have so many other things with my partner that we do. We might even go sometimes weeks and months without having sex, but then we are building different things together. So,
and also on that, that this conversation that we have just had, recently there was a defilement case in Mombasa, and it had a reverberating effect on us as the LGBTQI persons because we became the scapegoat.
Yeah.
And the clubs that we do go to, some we were shunned off simply because it might incite quote unquote banning of that place, and some of us we work in these clubs as waiters, as bouncers, yeah, and then here you are paintbrushing kila mtu like, oh, huyo ni shoga. And then there was a demonstration in Lamu that actually now weaponized the Children's Act.
Yeah.
It's like,
It has
tukana
nothing
nini?
to do with us.
Jela hapa kuna
Call it what it
LGBTQ.
is.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. Yeah.
So now, having talked about that, maybe what ways do laws and social attitudes reinforce the systemic economic exclusion or exclusion of the LGBTQI? You mentioned about the section, the Kenyan Penal Code, section 162A, C 163, and 165. So how do that really inform the public? Because it is of public interest whenever those sections are mentioned. Yeah, the statutory kizungu kidogo, that's one hiyo. Yeah. How do they really shape public opinion?
As I said, haziko kwa vitabu, zinatufata kila mahali. Na so long as iko kwa hiyo kitabu kwa law book iko hivi, inatukandamiza. In families I've mentioned, nimemention kitu moja sija mention ni eviction, and landlords really wanapenda kutumia hiyo stuff. The same period yenye nilikuwa narudi nyumbani nilishindwa kulipa rent. I have been a very nice rent payer, and then imefika point now I'm not financially capable of paying. That was used against me, ilitumika, and the landlord was so harsh that haeki mashoga wenye hawalipi pesa kwa nyumba yake.
Sorry.
I didn't even finish my deposit. Juu nilisema nikikaa hapa hivi something bad is going to happen to me. Juu alikuwa kwa ananifukuza. So these laws, hata kama mtu ajui kusoma, so long as so anajua there's this section and this section inakandamiza this certain group of people, they have that power to discriminate against this group. Hata kama haelewi ni nini na nini, so long as anajua tu kwa kitabu na hawa watu iko hivi.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the laws fuels the violence.
The laws fuel the violence.
It does. Once a perpetrator knows that, a homophobe person knows that, they think they are protected with the law. Unajua, some people violators wakisema, wewe unajua umenini kaluma sijui, you know, there is a way politicians hold a lot of power in the community. Akisimama pale nje aseme hivi, that unlearned person, an informed person kwa ground ajua, kumbe hata sheria haiwataki. So it means I can do anything to them. So in one way or the other, I mean, the easy laws zinachangia na ndio main reason ya us as queer people facing the violence that we face in the society out here. We have so many examples of members of parliament. You know, these are people that are supposed to be passing laws that benefit the people, but they're the ones who are trying to push. Kaluma has been on it for the longest time, and it's just like, of what interest, nigga? People from your county wako na mahitaji like 1,001, but you've left all that aside to continue pushing for this one thing that is all about hate. You know, you call it a family protection bill, but see, whose family is it protecting? Yeah.
Because in this anybody's children.
Yeah, we are people's families. I am somebody's mother. I am somebody's daughter. I am somebody's sister. I am part of a family that you're trying to protect, you know. And people don't even read to go further. Kuna, you know, single mothers, go through that shit. Read it. You know, they only use that small section because they know if we talk about the LGBTQ, then everyone is going to sign the whatever. Walikuwa na sign nini? There is a time that, you know, they were collecting signatures.
Petition.
It was for the Linda Jami, for the constitutional amendment. Yeah.
That whole twenye ilikuwa hiyo yote. They're collecting signatures. You as a single mother who is raising kids on your own, you're signing that shit. You don't know that unaji-implicate in that nini.
True.
When it is coming to me as a queer person, it is going to rotate. Iseme wewe mama mwenye una raise mtoto peke yako, wewe ndio una raise watoto wenye wanataka kukua wezi hapa nje, wewe ndio una raise watoto wanataka kukua LGBT. But is it true? No. We have seen people from single parenthood who have turned out to be great. So queerness does not, I'm not queer because I was raised in an environment that kulikuwa na queer people. My father and mother are fucking straight. It is not so before tuongele easy laws, before tuanze kusema sijui nini, no, it is people up there that are against us. And when they're against us, it trickles down to mwananchi wa kawaida mwenye naishi na yeye next door, mwenye aliambiwa ukisikia hiyo inakwambia mimi L is not queer, but if that shit is passed, naweza sema tunajua L nakwanga queer, and that's it. They're taken to prison. That's it.
The citizen arrest. And also an experience of somebody I know alifungwa boutique, but unajua we queers, we love promoting our own people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Ilenye, you know, we go in and out. Do you know what was said? Hapo ndani kuna pornography inafanywa.
Queer people ndo wanafanyanga pornography.
Yes, and they were trying to use the cybercrime, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act kufunga that business. So ile tu you just give up, you say
tunajiundia zetu pia mtaki tujiundie zenyu amtutaki huko. What exactly do you people want?
But I think it's high time we need to enhance the pink economy. We need kuonyesha that
the pink economy.
We need to onyesha that queer people, we have to do this for ourselves. The general population will not go support us. so sisi wenyewe inabidi tujisupport.
Mhm.
There's a lot of talent in
Mhm.
the queer community.
Mhm.
Kuna a lot of skills that tuko nazo, but due to fear, due to shame, tunazi express. I've seen a lot of fashion designers, but wako huku chini na ni fear ndo haitaki kuwaonyesha wapande juu. There is a talent hub in Mombasa, and that talent hub, to be honest, it's not queer friendly. Tushai apply for stuffs, tumeenda
Yeah.
huko, but the environment, ukifika tu hivi kitu ya kwanza unaona tu, this is not my place. So if you have all these talents, if you have all these resources tuko nazo, tunaweza tukajininiwe sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. We can do this, guys.
Yeah, we can do
we can
it.
do it.
And umeongea kuhusu tukitoka kwa lo kidogo, there is something that you had mentioned prior, classism within the queer people. I think this is a topic that we really
need to talk about it.
Yeah.
we need like an episode on that peke yake. And I think tutawa invite yala because I mean we are being fought out there.
Yeah.
But truth be told, even in our own spaces, we have felt some unnecessary competition that is not supposed to be there. There is a way that Mimi, as a queer person who is a bit here, sees a queer person who is here as less, and who is here sees me as, you know, which is not supposed to be the case. Tunafaa kusapotiana, tusiposapotiana wanajua hata au kwao unajua. In their own spaces they don't love each other. In their own spaces they don't support each other. Why are we supporting them? We talk about queer empowerment. You're empowering me, but you don't want to see me empowered. And I wonder,
what am I supposed to do?
Mlikuwa mnanipatia ya? This is just a topic that we really need to talk about.
To have a delve deep in. And to you, Mustafa, as we wrap up, you talked about being a HIV rights activist.
Yes.
Maybe I don't want to. HIV rights activist. So what are the impediments now that you see from the social economic exclusion of the LGBTQI person? Does it have a connection with accessibility to healthcare and mental health services?
It does.
Yeah.
After the cut fundings, we had to integrate. So this means we had to go to public institutions ama health facilities zenye tutapata usaidizi because dices zinakuwa done away with. Nilienda kwa hii place moja yenye iko sensitized and I had taken someone. Kufika hapo hivyo, the nurse starts asking if we are couples already. So nilikuwa nafikiria if a straight person amekuja na spouse wake, do they get asked these questions? Akaniuliza maswali, mi nakuanga tu open, nitakwambia about my HIV status, nitakwambia hizo vitu zote, I'm just going to be open. So nikatoka nikaenda, the next time I came back, I was exposed to a certain disease, so nilikuwa nafaa kuja kuangaliwa if I have it or not. So hiyo time nilirudi, sikurudi posh, nilikuwa nimetoka kazi, nikaenda tu venye mimi niko. It was a different treatment altogether. The first time I was so nice, they treated me differently. The second time nimeenda as a normal person, and it was intentional. I was like, I mean, it's a safe space, they've been sensitized. Ni nini mbaya watanifanyia? Nikafika hapo, kwanza kuangaliwa tu, nikakuwa sized, and then the same nurse akakuja akakuniuliza maswali. So kwa DIC zenu hamupati wangu hizo vitu zenye mnapatiwa mpaka mkuje mpate huku. So I was like, we are supposed to integrate. We are supposed kuja kwa jamii, tukuje kwa hizi public health facility because that's where the cheaper nini ziko. And this is how we are being treated. I was angry. Mimi niliongea. The nurse, I don't think she works there anymore. But the thing is, mkishatufanyia vitu kama hizo, as someone who is living with HIV, nimekuja kuchukua nini yangu and I'm not empowered, nimefanywa kitu kama hiyo. Am I going to come back next for my refill? Na sitaenda place nyingine, nitaendelea kubaki hivyo and I'm going to infect a lot of people out here. So venye mnatutreat kwa mahospitali as queer people really do matter. We need to come back to those hospitals, but accept us. We are human beings. The same way you accept heterosexual people, please accept us. Msatutaki kufika hapo ndo mnaweka kikao mnaanza kutuongelelea. We feel uncomfortable and we are not going to come back to those spaces. So tusaidianeni. You are giving out services, we want services, but we are going to come for the services if zinapeanwa na respect.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something that you go to these spaces, and then the kind of reception that you receive, it also adds to the pressure of as a person living with HIV,
Mm.
and then the mental health. Now hapa unataka kutafuta psychotherapist ama psychosocial counselor. How much
Shakshuka.
does it cost to see a psychosocial counselor?
How much can we even afford it in the first
Can you
place?
even afford it?
And I think Mustafa has mentioned something that we have seen so much in the spaces. If I go to a dispensary as Lydia,
Mm-hmm.
I will be treated differently from how somebody else who is not known in the community will be treated. And that is something that I've really observed long time. Kuna hizi dispensers zenye tunajua, we've sensitized these people, they have been in our spaces, these nurses, we keep talking to them, but then they know certain few familiar faces. And there's some organizations that when you mention mi nimetoka hii
Yeah,
organization
yeah.
you get
Different.
certain kind of treatment. And we keep telling these people, as queer people, first of all, we do not need special treatment. No, 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 no. As queer ama hostess mnataka
Special gani jamani, tungane pale pale.
exactly. So it's not like au unajua nataka kutritiwa hivi au nataka no, 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 no. Sisi tunataka venye unge treat male and female couple wakiingia kwa hiyo hosi
Yeah.
ndio venye mimi and my girlfriend tukiingia hapo ndani tukiwa na STI, you need to treat us. You need kama ni samples you're taking my urine or whatever to test, just to do that, the normal things that you do. You've talked about mental health. Mental health is out of reach, honestly speaking. Psychologists, therapists who are informed or tailored to our needs as queer people are very few. Some of them do not even know how to we don't even I don't even blame them. There is a therapist that niliongea naye last year and I was like, no, it's not that you're ignorant, you just do not know what to do. You don't know what to tell me, because probably my problems are things that you've never you didn't even learn in school. You never knew that you'll come to handle these things out here. So I think our it is out of reach, and it's because these institutions also do not hire queer therapists. I mean, we
Queer
have them,
therapist,
we
yeah.
have queer psychologists, we have them out here, but for some reasons we utaki kuwekwa kwa hizo spaces. So if you're talking about integration, we need to put it in practice, we need to put it in action. I need to walk into a facility where tuseme nimeenda Bamburi dispensary for example, and a queer person is the nurse there, and then I'm just like, ndio nisikupatie stress wewe who do not understand my issues. Wacha niende juu I already know there is somebody who understands my my needs. So integration si ati tupewe tu services peke yake, but also giving professionals from our end opportunities to serve in these institutions. Isikue tu sasa unajua this is for certain people. And I think also continuous advocacy. We have sensitized these people, but we also know that kuna kwanga na shuffles here and there. The same person that I found in this dispensary today might not be the same person that I find in the dispensary tomorrow. And that's why we keep telling donors, you know what, if there is something that you really need to fund over and over and over, something that you need to support is advocacy, because it never ends. It's a continuous
It is a
job. We are
continuous,
dealing with
yeah.
stakeholders, and saizi we have realized that we cannot do this work alone. We need stakeholders, broad stakeholders, ikweni hao wenye we already know that do not want us, but we still need them in these spaces. And truth be told, the only way you can bring these people into a space, sit and listen to you, it's if there is resources. So yes, just support our work. Integration ikue. Mental health, we have organizations that are offering pro bono.
Yeah.
But yeah, people should just go. And apart from that, mental health is very
Wide.
It's very wide.
yes. So the only before it reaches a point that you now go sit down with a psychologist or a therapist, find peers, find other people. I mean, we should start embracing art therapy, where it's not just like me, I'm going to sit in that space and start crying with serviettes and all that. I want to sit with Ostress, I want to sit with Mustafa and share my experience with them and get to see, hey, do you also guys go through this, and how can we be able to support each other as we navigate this thing called life. Yeah.
It's life. Yeah. So as we wrap up now,
Yes.
let's talk about maybe in the next 10 minutes about because we are moving from offline to online right now. And we see there is lots of digital vigilantism. If you are queer and you own a business somewhere, or you run a clinic, or you run this and that, you come under public scrutiny. tough public scrutiny. So maybe have you seen those tweets maybe lenye usimpeleke huyo dentist huyo atampatia nini ya ushoga.
Sin iko transmitted ni kama inaitwaje it's airborne iko tu on the air, you know, queerness
Corona.
is just in the air. You touch me like this, you automatically
Corona,
become
if I cough, you
people.
become queer. It doesn't work that way.
No. So yeah, I think we for the longest time we've been, you know, fighting the social or rather the physical hostility. Right now it's even in the internet. And just the way Ostres has mentioned, internet is the new thing, online is the new thing. People are going live to sell their products. People are it is online where now the business is booming and all that. But apparently there are some people that still feel that we are not supposed to exist in the internet. As I mentioned something about queer people, there are some jobs that we do, you know, like sex work.
Yeah.
There are dating apps. We've had cases,
Yeah.
and I know you're aware of these cases where queer people have been lured from the dating apps. Mtu anajifanya the way they're into you and all that. Before you know it, you are in their space, ama wherever. You get killed.
Fishing.
They extort money first.
And it's another thing. We've also seen where it's just like, I have your nudes, I have your pictures, I have this, I have that. So, man, talking about online is just a problem. But I think as these people fight us, we also need to fight back. We are not going to relent because now, you know, the general population is against us. You have a dental whatever facility. Me as a queer person, let me refer my fellow queer people. Man, we are not two people in this country. We are people.
We are many.
That is just the reality. You know, the thing is, you only see a few faces because, of course, people's security and all that. But in our spaces, we are like this. A lot of us. So I think going back to ile supporting each other's queer people will take us far. You know, so if somebody comes from there and tells, you know, wewe ukiumwa na meno usiende huko kwa Austrias. Mustafa, mimi naambia Mustafa, we ukisikia mtu anaumwa na meno mtume huku. You get, so in one way or the other we still grow. And they will continue saying we have money, they'll continue saying donors are funding us, but we are growing our businesses on our own. I'm a chicken rearer. Mimi nafuga kuku. I am a farmer literally. You get. So, and in my business, man, it is the queer people that support me. I get calls from directors of queer organizations, members of our organizations. Well, utaniletea mayai, utaniletea. Na tukulangi vibaya by the way. So you get, I think it can work. I have seen it working in my business as a person. I have seen it working. Just post your things in your own groups. You don't have to, you know, go in those other groups. You might get 2-3 people. Those are the people that you need. Our willy too. Referrals comes from those people. So let's continue referring each other, supporting each other. We won't even see that larger whatever hate from outside. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
It's true. I mean, if queer people decide washikane, it's over for you guys. Because no, it is over for you people. If people wenye wamekandamizwa and they actually find their potential, na wajue that we can actually earn from this, it's over.
Yeah.
So as queer people, we need to actually come together. We can do this. If they don't want to support our businesses, we can support our own businesses. If they don't want to come to our events, tutaenda kwa hizo events wenyewe and we will show
Na
up.
zitabamba mpaka
Yeah.
watamani.
Okay. Any last words maybe? Well, Mustafa?
Ladies first.
Yeah.
I think last words from me will just go back to when we were talking about the socio-economic policies in general. It's not that we are asking to be treated differently. We are just asking for a community or a society where queer people exist without the fear, without the discrimination, without all this hostility that we get, where we feel that, we are dignified. Mimi niko hapa because niko hapa and because I'm supposed to be here. So that dignity, where we are treated with dignity, is a society that we are asking for. Only that. We don't want special treatment. We don't want handouts. We are working for our own money. We are working out here. We are not just seated to be given the way you people think. So when you're talking about the socioeconomic empowerment policies and all that, we only want a society where we as queer people can exist freely as we are. Yeah.
Thank you.
I had said ladies first because yangu nilikuwa nimeandika chini. So this is what I have to say when we are closing. In Kenya today, LGBTQ people are not just fighting acceptance. We are fighting for survival.
Yeah.
And when access to jobs, homes, and healthcare is denied, that is economic violence. And tuko na violence mingi sana, mutupige physically, pia economically, mentally. I mean, just give us a break,
Ni
guys.
mbaya manze, ni mbaya.
Thank you so much, Mustafa and Lydia. And key takeaway from this session is that from the conversation on another that we have seen is that we, the queer people, we are also your children, and you should be able to include us in the socio-economic policies that you develop in employ us because sisi bado ni watoto wenu.
Yeah.
And and ukitu exclude sisi tutajitenga na tujibuild, we build
Na
ourselves, yeah.
tutawaganyia.
Tutawaganyia. And also for the policy makers, we need to start implementing the international frameworks of human rights, from the UDHR, the Universal Declarations of Human Rights, to the ICSR, to the ILO policies, you know. So from us as Center for Minority, we say goodbye.
Bye.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our
Subscribe.
social media, on our social media platforms. In Instagram, CMRSL Trust, and Facebook, Center for Minority Rights. Na tuko hapo pia TikTok, Center for Minority Rights. Bye.